All right, welcome back to the Denial of the Day podcast, where we're going to discuss how you can win your claim. I'm here with Chris from my office. My claims manager, Chris, does an amazing job. We have an interesting topic today, which is called the duties after loss section of your policy, which nobody reads. Chris and I know you guys aren't reading this thing, but it is really important. This is probably one of the more important parts of the policy. Chris, tell us more, my brother.
Yeah, thanks everyone. Good to see everyone again. Yeah, this one gets overlooked a lot. And it's such an important part of your insurance policy that most people just glance over it and just kind of
Right?
like, hey, whatever. But the insurance companies will hold you to the fire with this specific verbiage in your policy.
Yeah.
So when you file a claim, there are certain things that you sign in your contract, which is your insurance policy, that you have to do after you file a claim. So we're just going to kind of go through some bullet points here of some things that you must do because we have seen situations where insurance companies actually will deny a claim if
Right.
you don't actually follow these steps. So they're
Yeah.
extremely, extremely important.
Or
Uh,
they'll diminish your payment. So say a loss occurs on day one and you don't make a claim until day seven because you don't think it's that big of a deal. You still are responsible between that time frame, right? So whenever the loss occurs, duties after loss, right? Then you have to the biggest one that we deal with, Chris, is mitigating the damage, right? So hail hits your commercial property, it busts a hole in your PVC or TPO or EPDM, whatever it might be, layer of the roof, and then that hole in the roof caused by hail creates an opening that then water gets into, and you just let it leak for a week before the adjuster gets there. That's a huge no-no. You need to have yourself, a roofer, whoever is qualified to go up there to take care of that leak as quickly and as soon as possible, right? That's one of the biggest things that we deal with because most people are like, oh, what do I do? What do I do next? How do I do this? Well, no matter what, you want to stop your property from getting worse or more damaged. Chris.
yeah, exactly. That's a great point. Again, I mean that's your property, so you got to treat
Yeah.
it like, it's your property no matter what, even though you have insurance. Who knows what they're gonna pay. But if something happens like that, you gotta stop it. That's the most one of the most important things. The other thing that we see too is if the insurance company wants to send an adjuster out there, and if you're not available, we've seen that happen too, to where they'll fight back and say, we tried to schedule an inspection, but you weren't available. And that's part of your duties after loss, that you have to let the insurance company basically in as soon as possible when they're ready
Right.
to.
Right.
So
Yeah.
that's a huge one too.
And so we've worked on claims where the insured didn't know what to do and they're just like, I don't know what's happening. And the insurance company's made multiple attempts to come inspect the property. And the insured is like, no, no, no. At a certain point, the insurance company is going to be like, hey, you're not cooperating with the duties after loss. We have the right to investigate the loss. You need to let us in the property or at the property or on top of the property, whatever it might be. And if you're not doing that, that could, just like Chris said, cause a huge issue. So one of the things I'll talk about is documentation of the damages. So hail hits the commercial building, and say you have a greenhouse out back of this commercial building, right? And it went through all of the panels, and you just throw away the panels without documenting anything. How's the insurance company supposed to know that that stuff is damaged? Right?
Yeah.
You must document. And guess what? The nice thing is we all have these little guys called cell phones, right? And it's super easy and super simple to be able to document that damage. And I just tell people pictures on your cell phone are free, right? You can take 1,000 pictures if you wanted to. You can also take video. And so just document it before you throw anything away and make sure, like what I would recommend on my side is make a claim, see what the adjuster wants to do, right? And in between, make sure you mitigate any further damage, but also document it along the way. Because if you need to make a repair, document the repair. If there's a hole in your roof, document like, hey, here is the hole. Here's a reference picture. It's on this side of the building. Now here's a closer up picture, and then put your hand or a dollar bill or your cell phone, something that we know that we can reference back to for the size and say, look, this hole's 2 inches. Like it's a big hole. So like documenting that is going to help you immensely so you can get your claim paid.
Yeah, and one of the things I'll add to that too, and safety is always first. But
Right.
if a storm does occur and there's hail falling, if you're able to take video of that hail or pictures
Right.
of that hail, that goes a million miles as far as having your claim go through a pretty smooth process because
Right.
insurance companies, a lot of times, they'll collect weather data and, some sources will say different things versus
Right.
other sources. And that weather data could say, hey, there is no hail that hits your property. Well, guess what? We've got video evidence showing specifically on this date that hail was hit. And so we won
Right.
claims just by showing that evidence.
Yeah.
So,
And if
but
you
again,
ever,
safety first. Obviously,
right.
we don't want anyone to get hurt
Absolutely.
because hail can also be extremely dangerous.
And
So,
painful.
yeah, absolutely.
Trust me, I know. But like what I'll do is if I have a hailstorm at my properties, I'll wait for the hail to come down and then maybe it's just like trickling or whatever. And then you can go grab a hail ball and then put it against like or next to a quarter and I'll take a picture of that. But also the video, hugely important. One of the things that I was kind of alluding to at the very beginning, you have a loss, then you make a claim 7 days later. That might not be okay depending on what the policy says specifically. You need to let them know immediately right when that loss occurs or you have assessed the damage or you've had somebody else. So say hail comes down, hits your property, you call your favorite roofer contractor, hey, come take a look. And he's like, hey, there's no damage up here. Like there's no need to make a claim. I don't see any holes or dents or dings or anything like that. Okay, then why would you make a claim, right? Otherwise, if they're like, hey, yep, we got out there to the next day, damage has occurred, you definitely need to make a claim. File that claim as soon as possible. That's going to help you. And also, when your whole neighborhood gets hit with hail, if you can be one of the first ones to call, you're usually at the front of the line.
Yeah, that's a great point. Excellent point.
Right. So, anything else that we need to discuss on that, Chris?
No, I think those are the most important things. Just again, no one likes to read them, but it's important to read your policy, especially the duties after loss.
Dude, totally. Read your policy. And if you don't,
Mhm.
have someone on your side like us that can read your policy for you and guide you along the way. That's the biggest thing that I want you guys that are watching this to understand is we're public insurance adjusters. We work on your behalf as the insured, and we get paid on a contingency basis, meaning if there is no damage, we're going to tell you that because we don't want to waste our time on a claim that's not going to go anywhere for you or for us. So, if you need help on a commercial, residential, municipal, school district, whatever type of claim it might be, contact us today, bellatorclaims.com. We are here to help you win your claim. Chris, last words.
That's pretty much it. Everyone have a great day. Thank you
All
for
right.
joining us.
Thank you.